All right, pull up your calendars. 17 days, count them, from Election Day. And today, we're beginning to hear the closing arguments from the candidates. Earlier today in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, for instance, Donald Trump there laying out a, quote, contract with the American voter, proposing plans targeting corruption in Washington. Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, set to take the stage in Pittsburgh this hour with Tim Kaine as well. The Clinton campaign making a major early voting push in critical battleground states. Joining me now, Jason Johnson, political editor at The Root and professor at Morgan State University. Noel Nikpour, Republican political consultant and fundraiser. Mike Morey, former communications director for Senator Chuck Schumer. We've got a great group here. I want to first, though, play a little bit of sound from what Donald Trump had said earlier today. He basically said to all of the accusers of him that he will sue them after the election is over. Take a listen to what he said earlier today.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Total fabrication. The events never happened. Never. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
Noel, I want to go to you first on this. He is putting more life into this argument. If you're a Democrat, you're saying, perfect, this is what we need because this is not working for my opponent, but he's putting more energy into it here.
Yeah, you're right. And what the Republicans really want to see is policy, policy, policy. And he opens up his speeches. It never fails with sex, 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 you know, and defending it and discounting the women. And this is one of the biggest demographic voting blocks that he has to appeal to are women. So this is not working. But you know what? Trump is a movement. And the people that follow him are a loyal base. And so he can pretty much say he's going to sue the women, and they're rallying behind it. And this is why the Republican Party, this is why I'm seeing a lot of division. Yeah. And it's strong and it's staying. It's
strong and it's staying. And Mike, the question might be, if he continues with this, how much more might he lose? Or has he lost everything he possibly can by staying on this message that is not resonating with women?
Well, if you think about this, today was supposed to be the day in which he sets the stage for the rest of the campaign, his closing argument. What he's going to do, how he's going to bring in new voters. Essentially what he said in his first 100 days, day one, he's going to sue a bunch of women for accusing him of sexual assault. That's his day one agenda. How that actually does anything for him in the closing 3 weeks of a campaign when his number one problem actually is with women, Republican women who are starting to take a second look and saying, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this guy. Independent women, college-educated white women who haven't voted for a Democratic presidential nominee in I don't know when. So here he is, the day he's laying out his 100-day agenda, and day one is I'm going to sue a bunch of women who accuse me of sexual assault. It's absurd, it's silly, it makes no sense.
Jason, you heard the comments so far here. React to that as well as what you may have heard in this show at the top of the hour when Jacob Rascone was there in Ohio right before the rally, and those voters saying basically almost verbatim what Donald Trump has been saying. This is a rigged election system, and what that means not only as we move forward to Election Day, but after.
Well, Richard, that's fascinating. Honestly, I could have known that couple. Like I said, I lived in Ohio for 10 years. I'm an Ohio voter. I don't find those people surprising. They're probably college-educated people, but they don't like the current president. They are long-term Republicans, and they pretty much are going to believe anything that that Donald Trump says. I do think it's interesting that now that Donald Trump appears to be losing, that he and his supporters say they don't trust the polls. But when he was doing well in August, it was all the polls are showing me winning. But that kind of attitude is going to be extremely problematic going forward. And here's why. This is the biggest problem with all this. Because study after study after study has shown that when you tell people that an election is rigged, it depresses the vote. You've got 38% of Trump supporters right now saying, I don't think my vote's going to count. You really think those people are going to wait in line for hours and hours on Election Day when you tell them it's rigged? I think it's a bad strategy. Trump is wasting valuable time.
Yeah, along the history points you're bringing up there, Noel, to you on this, yeah, the voters will stay home now, at least on the right. But on the left, this messaging actually kind of helps them to get to polls historically.
Well, that's why the Republican Party ground game needs to come up with something that really moves the Republican voter to show up and go, you know. Basically just grab some Chardonnay or vodka and a blindfold and just head to the poll. I mean, it's really depressing, and I think that if Donald Trump could just stay on especially the economical parts of the Republican platform, it's a winner. But going towards what he's going towards is a loser.
All right, let's stand by for